I can imagine him coming back.
And here's another cyber truck coming back.
Yeah, they're just everywhere. Alexander with a clear wrap. Definitely cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, they're big attention getters.
This is the Cybertruck headquarters apparently today.
Yep, and we're both from Poolsville, so normally in Poolsville.
Oh, there you go.
We'll definitely be showing up to Cars and Coffees in Poolsville quite often, I think.
Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be taking a look at JD's Cybertruck. Now he's only got 219 miles on his new Cybertruck. It's a dual motor foundation series. He's also a Rivian owner. He had a very early VIN, I believe somewhere in the 3,000 or 5,000 range VIN Rivian R1T. So he's going to be a very valuable source of information when comparing a Tesla Cybertruck to the Rivian R1T. So let's get started. So I'm here with JD. This is his Cybertruck, and he's going to kind of tell us a little bit about it. Now JD had an early VIN Rivian R1T, so he's, I think, qualified better than anyone to tell us how the R1T compares to the Cybertruck.
So yes, I had a Rivian R1T in April of 22, and like I said, it was launch edition, one of the early ones, and I absolutely loved it. I mean, I just sold it in January, and I sold it because I knew I was getting the Cybertruck, and this I had ordered back in 2019, so I've been waiting for this one to come out for a long time. But the Rivian was an awesome vehicle, and one of the things I like best about Tesla, Rivian also does, which is the over-the-air updates, and the vehicles just keep getting better.
Yeah.
And they've had already a couple updates on the Cybertruck, adding in the lock differentials and more off-the-road stuff, along with many other features. But this has been an awesome vehicle. There's a lot of new technology in it. It's not just a different look, which some people like and some people don't like, but the technology in it is amazing. It has a 48-volt architecture instead of the 12-volt that most other cars have. It's got 800-volt charging system, so it can charge really quick when the chargers are set up for it. It has Ethernet network communications for all the devices, power over Ethernet so there's a lot less wiring for your lights and for any other devices that are on the vehicle. Amazing technology that other cars need to follow. It's got steer-by-wire. It has four-wheel steering, so when you turn the wheel in the parking lot, it will turn really sharp. One of the updates is it made it so it even turns sharper.
Yeah.
And then when you're on the highway and you're changing lanes or something, the rear wheels turn in a different direction so that they parallel change into the lane really quick. So just amazing steering. And that'll keep getting better. The more they tweak it, the more they can do with it, since it's all programmable.
Right.
I love it. I've only had this now since May 1st, which is a couple days from when we're recording, and it's been awesome. It is a fingerprint magnet. It gets fingerprints on it. It gets discoloration very easily. You can clean it. It's not real hard to clean, but it's a lot harder than a regular car. A friend of mine, the one we just saw drive by, he got a clear wrap from DC Bra, Clear Bra, and they did an awesome job putting a clear wrap on it. And I may do the same thing with this. I haven't decided quite if I'm going to do a color or if I'm going to do a wrap. I like to personalize my vehicle and make it a little bit unique. As you can see the stickers on it for Star Wars. We did the May the 4th light show, which was awesome.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you were a Star Wars fan.
Oh, I'm a sci-fi fan. Star Wars part of it. I'm actually on staff with the Museum of Science Fiction, trying to bring a museum here to Washington, D.C.
Awesome.
And so anything sci-fi, I love. And this is, the truck itself is really sci-fi.
Yes.
It really looks the part.
And it gets a lot of attention. Yeah. I mean, just in the 10 or 15 minutes we've been here, we've had two groups of people stop by to look at it, and had people stop their vehicles, slow down their vehicles. So if you don't like to have a lot of attention, this is not the vehicle to get. Yeah, you definitely get a lot of attention.
At least wait about a year. They'll be all over the place soon.
Yeah.
So hopefully they'll be so polarizing at that point. But yeah, right now we don't have the hubcaps on it. They actually had the recall on those, and hopefully they're going to send us a replacement when they re-engineered it a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's about the only thing I think that will require an update. I have ordered the camp, what they call the cyber tent. We'll see how that looks. I hope to demo that in some of the future car shows that we do.
Cyber cooler, did you get one of those?
Did not get one of those.
That looks pretty cool. I saw another YouTuber had one in the front, and it looked pretty neat.
I kind of like the plug-in freezer type, so
yeah.
I usually take those on trips. So I'll look at it. We'll see. So this has air suspension, so it can raise way up, get a 17-inch clearance if you need to in extract mode off-road, or you can lower down to an entry mode, very much like the Rivian does. So that's pretty nice. It does not have the gear tunnel that the Rivian did, which I really like, but the tunnel cover on this thing works extremely well. This will support over 300 pounds. I'm not going to get on it, but I have seen YouTubers do it, and it survived. So I know it does it. Same thing as like hitting it with a sledgehammer or something like that. It will not dent it. I'm not going to do it either, but I've seen it done. This gives you a 6-foot bed and 4 feet wide at the smallest point. So it does have a slant in the front, which makes it a little less if you had something that was really tall, 6 foot long. But I'll go ahead and put the back down. But when you come out here, if you have a 4x8, it'll still be at the edge of the bed. So you can carry that in.
So it extends the bed out.
Yeah, much like the Rivian. The Rivian has a unique way of doing it. I know their bed comes out to a 7-foot bed from a 4.5 foot, which is really cool. But this is very solid, and it's also really light, so it's easy to put up and down. They also have a little more storage down here, which kind of reminds me of the gear tunnel. I know in the Rivian you would actually have a place for a spare tire, or you could use it as storage. This does not have a place for a spare tire. If you want a spare tire, you got to mount it in the back of the bed.
Yeah.
So, but to be honest, unless I'm off-road with an issue, I'm probably not going to replace my own spare tire. These tires are massive. I think the Rivian 34-inch tires for the all-terrain, these are 35-inch.
Yeah, those are 35.
Even bigger.
Now you have power back here too, right? That's a big difference.
This is something that Rivian needs to do better.
Yes.
So these are 220 amp, and then you have a 40 amp NEMA 1450.
Yeah, that's huge.
That I can use to plug in my camper, so I can be off grid and still have power. That's huge. That's something I really wanted to be able to do, and that's something I hope Rivian comes out with in their future R1Ts.
And that beats out the Lightning too, because the Lightning has only 30 amp and it's one of the twist lock. This is a full NEMA 1450.
Lightning has more plugs, and they also have plugs in the front. That would have been nice. I wish they don't have as big front area, but I wish they'd put a plug up there, or at least a 12 volt. But it would have been nice to have a 110 volt up in the front. But and also the Lightning has more plugs, but I can just put in a
you can just get a power strip or something like that.
Exactly, and you've got 20 amps, and all of them are 20 amp plugs. So
that's nice.
There's a lot of power there. Yeah, that's pretty close. Everything on the outside.
And then this actually has 2 buttons, so you can actuate it either way on that control pad there.
Yeah, very easily. The Rivian has single, but it still works pretty good in the sense you just stop, start, and
stop, start, yeah.
Direction. But this one, it is a little better than that. It's also a lot smoother and a lot quieter than on the Rivian. I had the power tunnel, and power cover was working on mine when I sold it, but they are now offering an upgrade, so hopefully the upgrade works a whole lot better.
Yeah.
Or replacement.
And the seal looks really good on here too. Like I was noticing that.
I pressure washed it, and very little gets in there. Actually, on the Rivian, the same way though. The Rivian actually was pretty well sealed on their power cover. You still had a little drips on the side type thing. I probably wouldn't store a lot of things that you don't want to get wet in the bed. The Cybertruck is coming out, or Tesla's coming out with a bin that specifically fits the bed. So you'll be able to put like 6 bins in there, and I definitely want that one that comes in stock.
Yeah, that looks really handy. I saw those.
Very, very, very nice addition, and that's the way to do it. You just have one for camping, throw it in there, you know.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. You got your
Charge port.
Charge port, which is of course, the NACS or Tesla. Which again, I know Rivian is now doing the adapters, and hopefully they'll come out with a NACS on their trucks. It would be awesome if they put them on the back, the same as all the Teslas, just to make them all be able to fit in the Tesla slots the same way. That'll pose itself.
Yep. You're not taking up 2 spots at a supercharger and getting a bunch of Tesla owners mad at you.
Yeah, it's awesome they have it, but that is one of the issues. It's actually better than like the Lightning, which has it a ways back and you can barely reach, or sometimes you can't reach it. So it's a little better setup for that. But yeah, that's going to make a huge difference on the Rivians. So to open them up, it's kind of like, somebody told me that looks like a microwave button, which I think
that's interesting.
But another nice thing is these back doors open up to 90 degrees. So if you're going to load something in, you can easily do that, which a lot of the trucks don't. I think they all should do that. We have extra seating, or regular seating, but we have extra space underneath the seating. Pull that up, it locks up. One of the things it doesn't have is it has a rear window, which you can't see out when you have the tonneau cover on there, but it has no pass-through between the front and the back. And also the back screen, which the back screen is really nice, and that's adding more capability to it as it gets updates.
Yeah, and that's a large, that's a pretty large rear screen there. Yeah,
and actually the front screen, which we'll see a little better, the front screen is huge on this one. It's probably it's the biggest on any of the Teslas yet. And then having the flat back, which I think the Rivian has as well, is very nice for putting things in, for loading stuff. You don't have that.
Yeah, it's a lot of room back there when you put the seat up.
A lot of space in here, and they actually have what we used to call map holders. They actually have a place to put stuff, which is unusual. And then they have the C plugs, USB-C plugs as well. Now I'm trying to not put my fingerprints on it because it'll stay on there.
And you were showing me a cleaner that you have that allows you to kind of clean it up.
Yeah, so glass cleaners work pretty well on this. You really don't want the ammonia base, but I have a glass cleaner, and I actually add a little bit of carless or waterless car wash to it. It gives it a little more slicks to it. Something that out of specs detailer recommended, and it works really well for getting kind of the little spots, water spots and things like that off. The fingerprints usually take more to get them off. Bartenders keep the soft scrub one, definitely takes it off, but then you're probably washing the whole vehicle. Regular car washing, I wash it the same way with car soap and foam soap, pressure washer and things like that, and it does a pretty good job, especially after you get the Tina off it first time. Then it really does clean it up pretty well. Although I probably will do a clear wrap just to make it a lot easier, or I'll do some kind of color wrap.
Yeah.
Of course, cameras all over the vehicle, like in any Tesla and the Rivian. There's also a front camera, which is the first time for a Tesla, which the Rivian does have as well. This actually has a cleaner, though. You can actually spray a wash over the front camera.
Okay, that's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see the front camera down there. You got tow hooks on the front as well. That's certainly effective.
Yeah, it really is effective. Wish they did it on the back one as well. So maybe someday. The light bar right here. Well, we can go to the front over here too. The light bar across here is just for driving lights, and it has some really cool special effects it does during a light show. Down here are the high beam and low beam and turning signals.
And how do you feel the lights perform at night? Do you feel like
really good?
They're really good?
I don't have any problem with them. I think they're really bright. The brights, when they come down to the regular non-bright, doesn't hit anybody's eyes. It really cuts off really nice. I do a little concern about snow building up in here during the winter. We'll see how that works, but I have a feeling that'll be an issue. And then this is a button up here, which is not always easy to find, but you kind of get used to it after a little while. Very small front compared to something like the Rivian or the Lightning, but that's the way the glass was designed. It just had to be this way. Behind here is the air filter, gigantic air filter for the biohazard and such. This works great for groceries. And you can close it by the app or by the inside console. or by the release button over here in the corner, and then also hitting that button down there. And of course, with any electric car, there's your maintenance, windshield wiper fluid. That's about it.
Yeah, there's a lot of maintenance here.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, love electric. There you close it. And this is the first power frunk on a Tesla. Although for all the other ones, you can get it aftermarket, which that's the first thing I did with the Model X, is I put on a power front. You can see it's a bug magnet too.
Of course, yeah, the Rivian, that's a major problem with the Rivian and the flat front.
Just like the Rivian, yep. Another reason to get a clear wrap to help protect that a little bit, at least on the front quarter panels.
And that wiper is just massive.
5 foot, as I understand, 5 foot long.
Yeah, that is really...
largest in production vehicle, along with the windshield, huge windshield. Yeah, it's powerful and fast. It does its job. We'll see how well it does in the snow, but for the rain, no problem.
No problems keeping the windshield clear or anything like that.
No, not at all. It works extremely well.
So I'm going to press this button right here. That might be locked. Oh, there we go. Wow, this is really nice inside. I like the minimalist interior. I love it.
It's kind of the Apple of the cars.
Yeah. Oh, and the seat belts, does it come like that with the...
No, that's kind of an extra padding that I ordered on. So that's aftermarket. Adding this little area for your phone is aftermarket as well.
Okay.
You also could charge your phones down in here too, though. So you just set your phone down here.
And see, that's the way Rivian should have done it, because it kind of has the phone on an angle, and it has that piece in the middle to keep the phone from sliding when you're going around turns.
Right, and in the Rivian, it doesn't go through covers real well, and if it slides a little bit, you're not charging anymore. I like this very much. This is, like I said, an aftermarket one, and being able to put it up here and having it charge, I think it's nice. I did have to run a wire down through. So I added Alexa to this. Teslas don't come with Alexa. The Rivian does.
Okay.
One of the things I like about the Rivian is listening to us. I definitely like that on the Rivian. So you have this where you can see your whole car from whatever angle you want. These little buttons here are just showing you different controls. So you can just click on here and you can get to your control. I could open the charge port like there, or the tunnel from there. And you can also do...
Of course, it's the Easter egg.
Yeah.
Oh man, it didn't go through.
So it has that. That's always fun.
That's cool.
And then when you're out doing your navigation, it comes up like this, and you kind of share the screen between the two. Let's see if we can... Well, I can do it by voice as well. Navigate to Cycle Max in Gaithersburg. And hopefully it'll go to the right one, because yeah, that looks like it is. And it sets it up. This is a foundation version, so it comes with full self-driving as part of the package, but the full self-driving is not available yet in the Cybertruck. That'll be a hopefully soon future update.
Yeah.
So enough with that. Now, since I have my seatbelt on and basically the car started because I got into it like the Rivian and all Teslas do, if I hit the brake, it's going to go ahead and decide which direction I should go, and it chose reverse. So I didn't even have to touch the gear, although I could just swipe up.
You could swipe up and down, and then there's also on the spot up here, you could also do something up there, I think.
Yeah, there's a panel
like
up
if
here
you type,
to the gears as well. And that's if
nice.
your screen ever went out, you could still get to the most essential thing. I also took out the rear view mirror because it was really little. And with the tunnel cover closed, which is the way I drive, you can't see out the back.
Yeah, you can't see anything.
It was totally worthless. This gives me a wider view. I think it looks nicer, and that's just what I chose to do. And it was real easy to do. It's basically one screw, and I just change the gears by swiping it up.
Now that screen looks larger than other Teslas.
It is. It's probably the largest. It is the largest of any Teslas. I think it's an 18-inch screen.
Okay.
You can also move this to here to get it a little larger, and so you kind of have two different positions depending on where you want to do it. And like any Tesla,
Whoa!
it's quick.
Whoa!
But it's probably not faster than, it actually is not faster than the Rivian, but only by a real small amount. The Cyber Beast, this is the all-wheel drive version. The Cyber Beast is 0 to 60 in 2.6 seconds.
Yeah.
So that's crazy quick. But
So this is the dual motor
this is the dual
foundation.
motor. Yeah, and the Cyber Beast is the tri-motor. So this is the dual motor, all-wheel drive. And it drives, I mean, it drives like a car. It's really easy to drive.
Yeah, I'm sitting here watching you, and you're going around. That was a pretty good turn there, and you're not really turning the steering wheel that much.
No, very little on the steering wheel. If you wiggle it around a lot, the car will wiggle. But making turns like this, coming up here, I will barely have to turn it. We'll just before those cars come, and you can see I barely turn the steering wheel.
Whoa!
Now turn left onto Windbird Drive.
I'm gonna do this left.
And the motor sound is really, that's one of the things I like about the Rivian too. I like to hear that electric motor sound.
It's real close to the Rivian, and not like any other Tesla. Most Teslas you don't hear anything, but like the Rivian, you hear that little bit of wind up, and wind down, and I agree with you. I love it.
In 500 feet, turn left.
We're gonna stop up here. A friend of mine, Don, who owns Cycle Max motorcycles, he is, I think this is it, or maybe it's the next one. He is really big into
Now turn
electric
left.
motorcycles as well. I mean, they sell all kinds, but electric motorcycles is one he definitely is. Like he's a certified Zero motorcycle salesperson and service person.
Okay.
I think there's other companies as well. Zero motorcycle I'm actually selling, and but it's again
Now
awesome
you have
vehicle.
arrived at your
I just
destination.
don't drive it enough. So I think we'll be showy here and park it right out front, and then go. But so that's basic. Whoops! I just tap on there and it puts it in park. The menus on this thing are amazing. You just, again, a lot like the Rivian, you've got a lot of capabilities on what you can adjust and how you can adjust it.
Yeah, ride height.
The glove compartment is actually a drawer. And for some reason, I'm not getting it tapped open. Okay.
Rivian got a lot of flack about not having a glove
And
box.
they don't have a glove box. Yeah, this one's kind of unique too. Then there's quite a bit of dynamics. You can do the off-road stuff. Showing a lot of fingerprints today. I don't have a cover over, but I do have one I'm going to put on there that I did on the Rivian as well, because that helps it a lot. But you have different controls in here, and it kind of goes down the whole.
Towing and hauling functions.
Yeah, and I don't know if I guess as much as the Rivian, they don't do as much off-road information, but they're starting to get there. They've added a lot to the last update. Your outlets, different outlets. It has 48 volt architecture, so there's some of these other outlets, instead of being a 12 volt, they're 48 volt. So hopefully more accessories will come out for those. Eventually we'll have full self-driving, but you have all the different types of setups you can do on there. You have different lock stuff, different ways to display your trips, navigation, and so forth. I mean, there's just tons of stuff. You can just change that. And and again, like the Rivian, it saves to your profile. The nice thing with the Teslas is it'll save to my profile, and that profile will transfer to other Rivians or other Teslas. I'm sorry. So you can do all that Wi-Fi, Bluetooth upgrades, and so on.
Yeah.
Oops, I should.
And it has easy entry and exit, I see. So when you took your seatbelt off, it raised your steering wheel up and moved your seat back.
Correct. Yep. Yeah, and it also will do so your suspension, you can do it at that entry height.
Okay.
Kind of just what the Rivian does.
Kind of similar to Neo mode in the Rivian.
Exactly. And you can also get more information here. I can see that I have an 8-inch clearance right now and how high the whole vehicle is, what my tire pressure is. I can switch over to this card, which is more of the travel stuff, or my media on.
Your audio, yep.
Which is something new. This whole look is different from most of the other Teslas. I believe this is going to become more standard for the other Teslas with future updates coming soon.
Yep. The screen is really nice. I keep coming back to that.
And then, of course, you have tons of entertainment stuff, you know, things you can play around with.
Of course, the emissions mode.
yeah, and you also have the arcade and stuff, but you have tons of games out here as well.
And of course, you have the theater, I'm sure, with
you have the theater. So you have this.
Yep.
It doesn't have Disney Plus anymore, which I'm kind of upset about. I do have that in my other Tesla, kind of grandfathered in. I think there's ways to get that added back again, but it has some of the other major ones, which is definitely nice. And that will show on the back screen as well as the front screen. And the back screen you can put up with Bluetooth headphones. So when you're driving, the front screen it will not show. But
so if you have kids or
they can be listening to something or playing games or whatever using their headphones and while you're driving.
That's cool.
Yeah. So there's a lot of capabilities here. Their apps and displays and such are getting nice. Oops.
Yeah, Tesla does really, really well with the software.
They do. They do that better than Rivian at this point. But Rivian's gotten better as well. I mean, I've seen huge improvements in Rivian. So, yeah, but the software is something I like better with Tesla. And Tesla, especially on their phones, the apps on the phone. I mean, they're awesome.
Yeah, they're light years ahead of Rivian as far as the app is concerned.
So it's like.
And this has the same Sentry mode functionality. So, do you have remote viewing and all that, like you have in the other Tesla vehicles?
Yep. Under the Sentry mode, we can't see it right now. Well, actually, it looks like it's coming up. No,
and you have the cabin camera in here too, so you could probably see inside the cabin.
Yep. That's well, if it'll actually, no, it's not going to show. It's just we're in the truck.
Yeah, we're in here, but
it's got to be locked up for that. But it's that.
That's an awesome function. I really like that because sometimes if you park in a sketchy place or something like that, you might just want to check on it, and you might be inside of a hotel or somewhere inside of a store, and it's nice to be able to just open up the app and check on your vehicle.
And the new update's actually adding where it'll send you a small clip of something that's happening if you had a Sentry mode alarm go off type thing. It'll send you a small clip of what's actually going on, so you can look at it and say, oh, I better go down and check on that.
Yeah, I think that's some place where Rivian really needs to benchmark Tesla in that area, as far as like the Sentry mode, the entertainment apps on the screen. Those are really useful. All right, so I'm going to try to exit here. So I'm going to push down on this button here, and then yes, it is a heavy door. It's not too bad.
You'll notice the lighting up in here. You can almost see it. There's trim lighting all around, which in this case is blue, but I can change it to whatever color I want.
Yeah, that's something I wish Rivian would do as well.
It's a nice one. Yeah.
They're kind of locked to the one color.
And
so that's lock to lock.
That's lock to lock. So it's turning. The back wheels are turning as well as the front wheels.
Wow.
And yeah. So just I turn this much, it's going to turn really sharp.
I imagine that takes getting used to.
At very first, it was because it's more sensitive than you would expect it to. But it's kind of like any other car, though. When you turn as much as you need to turn to make the turn. Yeah. Here's why park. And so you get used to that really quick, especially driving at speed. The only thing is that if you tend not to hold your steering wheel steady. And you actually are the kind of person that does like this, you actually feel it. So it can make people more uncomfortable. Sir, I think it is this turn, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep, I think it's this turn.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to drive.
Yeah.
And like you said, it garners a lot of attention as well. People are always stopping to take pictures or stopping to ask questions, and that's actually one of the things I like about it. People ask a lot of questions, they want to learn about it, they learn about EVs in general.
Yeah, it's an opportunity to educate people on EVs, definitely.
It's a great ambassador.
But I tell you, one thing I'm interested in, like, because I noticed it has the 35s, the all-terrain tires, and I'm interested in if you put a set of all seasons on here, what kind of range improvement you might get.
it'd be interesting to try. Now, what was it? I'm trying to remember which the company was. It was Cars and something. One of them did a range test and actually got the estimated range or above it. I think they went above the estimated range, which was surprising, actually. You certainly, if you're going 85 miles an hour, you're not going to get the estimated range at all. But if you're doing a lot of in town and highway, apparently you will get that estimated range. You know, you drive at 70 is a huge difference between 85 and 70.
I know with the Rivian, when you choose the all-terrain tires, it's a really significant range hit.
Yeah.
So that's what I wonder, because this only comes with the all-terrains, right?
Right. Yeah. At least at this point. Yeah, it would be interesting to see how it changes. Although, to be honest, I love all terrains. To me, having it on having a truck, even if I'm not going off road, it just looks cool, and it's worth the hit and range. And it's not. I don't think it's that big, but we'll find out when they finally finish it, or when they have the other tires available.
Yeah, because my thought would be, like, if you're primarily commuting with it, and then you're like kind of a weekend off-roader, maybe get a second set of wheels to use, you know, Monday through Friday, and then when you go off-road, yeah.
It's a big vehicle to change tires on, but yeah, I think you're right. That would be a way to do it. And if you afford to do that, you might want to get another set for winter time, because snow tires are a big difference between snow tires and all-terrain tires. And this vehicle is totally capable of doing anything in the snow, but tires do make a difference.
Yep.
Same like in the Rivian. It's pretty awesome in the snow.
Mm-hmm.
I think their all-terrain tires are a little more designed for like snow and mud.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how they compare. I know there's going to be a lot of comparison videos out there.
A lot of speakers in here, and one of the things with like the sun visors, it reminds me of the Model X, the sun visors, how they're kind of you kind of pull away there.
Yeah, a little bit. I think the Model X ones they're definitely more narrow, and I have a Model X as well, so I know they're more narrow, and they seem to be a little less obvious than these are. And these don't quite go to the side as well. I mean, you can put them. They're just magnetic hook, but you can put it to the side, but then you got to get your head out of the way, you know, and do kind of one of these things. Where the Model X, you can put it up and down fairly easily. So I kind of like the Model X one better. But these are, it has enough of a tint, and people doing aftermarket tints, that I don't have a huge problem with the sun, at least not yet. The vehicle does warm up a lot faster in here than my Model X, which still has a lot of window, but not as much as this one does. And then here we go, put the cameras on so you can see that we can park it really easy.
Oh, that's nice.
And I don't have to look at the outside. I just look at the camera. And
oh, that's the first time I've seen lines on a forward-facing camera.
And that's on the forward, yeah.
Yeah,
and
that's
so
nice.
the back, when you're backing up, you do the exact same thing. It allows you to get pretty much right in there. We can switch to the back camera, like just doing this, and it does lines on both when you're moving.
Of course, you have your left and right.
You
have your parallel parking,
and that's a button up here where I can turn it on and off.
Oh wow! So you got the.
So
I didn't know about that. It's right on the steering wheel.
Right, I don't have to go through the menu system to do it, which is
very
definitely handy. Yeah. I wish they had a button, like right now, I can program this button for doing different activities by pushing and holding it. I can set it up for different ones. Right now I have it set up to open my glove compartment, which is nice. But what I really want, turn off the radio there, close it up. What I really want is one that allows me to fold the mirrors in.
Okay.
Because that I find really useful. Right now I have to kind of go through, I mean, it's not hard, it's right here in the menu.
Yeah.
But I would like to be able to not take my hands off the steering wheel when I'm going in and out of the garage, to be able to hold them in for a moment and then put them back out so I can get it placed just right in the garage. This does fit in the garage. It's a little bit longer than the Rivian, and I think it's a little wider as well. But it does fit in the garage. That's what Elon said. I want to make it. He made it a little shorter,
right?
And because he did that, it fits in the garage.
Now, I know there's a vendor out there that makes, and I don't recall right offhand, but they make those sexy buttons.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking for your mirror folding, maybe they could do something
Yeah.
with those sexy buttons to make a button for you to fold in your mirrors when you're going in and out of the garage.
And that might be a good option, or at least an option. This also has a blind spot light on the speakers.
So it's on the speaker grill.
Instead of on the mirror, and I think they did that because they want you to be able to take those mirrors off. Tesla doesn't like the idea of having to have mirrors. Now, I will not do that on my side view mirrors, but I did do it on my rear view mirror. But so there's a blind spot, and you can also see it on all the things, whatever you call it, the animations up here. You can see where cars are in your blind spots or not, and when you put it on a turn signal, you get the side cameras. So
I remember when they added that for the Model Y, and that was huge because you've probably driven a Model Y, but the Model Y has when you're at a certain angle, there's a really bad blind spot. And I had a couple close calls, and when they added that blind spot camera function, that was huge.
Model X, same way. Yeah, and adding the red on your screen here too to let you know, hey, there's a car there, is really nice. Yeah, it's gotten a lot better. I had the same problem with the Model X when I first got it, the 2017 one. Big blind spot area, and I tried coming over many times when there was a car there. Luckily, I never hit anything, or nobody ever hit me. So
yeah,
but yeah,
same here.
Big difference now. Yeah. So that's
this is an awesome
kind
truck.
of it. It's there's a lot of storage in here. Like I said, I had the Alexa here.
Large center console there.
Yeah, and that gives you a lot of stuff in there. But there's another under space under there. It goes pretty deep.
Nice cup holders.
Yeah, and finally I had a cup holder that actually fits my cup. This is the first Tesla I've been in where it actually fits in here without having to remove the liner and anything else, doing crazy stuff for it. So that was a big deal. One for each, and this is a much smaller cup, and it still fits in fits in there.
Yeah, one thing with the Rivian that worries me about the cup holders in the front, they're kind of like, that assembly's kind of like, seems a little flimsy, so I don't know how long that's gonna hold up.
I had one problem with the cup holder. They replaced it, but it wasn't bad. It was just a small part that didn't snap in right, and they replaced it and it worked.
Yeah.
This has that large space like the Rivian, but I don't have a camp speaker.
Okay.
Which that was awesome in the Rivian.
She would love this even more. This looks larger and more accessible than the Rivian.
It's larger. I think it has a bigger area to keep things from rolling out too.
Yeah, the ladies would love to put their purses in there if they're driving it.
Yeah, it's definitely a useful spot. And you see the accelerator pedal is anchored to the ground rather than up top,
and you've got the recall rivet too.
You got the little rivet there, recall. Yep. And these are the liners, or the all-weather pads that came with the Foundation series.
Okay, so the Foundation series came with these all-weather floor mats.
Correct. It has the regular floor mats right now are underneath. At some point I'll take those out and put them away, but they're in here as well.
Yeah.
And it also came with a visor to cover over this,
to cover your glass roof,
so you don't have as much. Like I said, there's a lot of heat comes through here.
Yeah.
Which I probably get it tinted in something that reflects the heat better. Some of the expels and things like that do that.
Well, the one thing that I've heard a lot of people complain about with tinting the windshield and the roof, at least in the Rivian, is some of them actually had them crack because the heat is building up in the glass. It's not coming through and radiating out. It's building up in the glass and causing the glass to crack. That's why I didn't get mine done.
Well, hopefully, I know this is a fairly strong glass, so we'll hope that it's not an issue with these. That's something worth researching.
Yeah.
But I suspect it won't be, but we'll find out.
Yeah, I think Tesla's probably done their homework on the glass.
The Rivian, actually, I know their glass to begin with was pretty sensitive. I don't know if you saw Kim Java. She cracked the Rivian glass just by putting her little weight on it.
Yeah.
So
I saw that. I've seen a lot on the forums too, with people like they rest their weight on near the edges, and they had it crack on them.
So I saw YouTuber fools were standing on the glass, and it was supporting them standing on the glass. And he actually stood on the front too, and he jumped on it, and eventually it cracked. but
yeah, I wouldn't do
I
that.
was surprised how far it went before it actually cracked. So this is Tesla's tough. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, Tesla's that definitely made this tough.
Yeah. So it is a truck. As many people say, oh, that's not a pickup truck. It is a truck, and it is cool. It rides like a car. It has the acceleration of a sports car, but it has the capabilities of a truck. And the strength and the durability. You know, Ford keeps saying they're Ford tough. Well, try a Tesla.
And you know what I like about these stainless steel exoskeleton is the fact that you don't have to worry about door dings. I always worry about that. Like I park far away, and I'm always trying to avoid the possibility of getting door dings. And in fact, that's one of the reasons why I got the running boards. But with this, I mean, I've seen guys run shopping carts into it and nothing. Sledgehammer,
kicking it as hard as they can.
Yeah.
Do crazy stuff. I will not do that with this car, but it's capable.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Hopefully this is going to stand the test of time.
Yeah, this is a fascinating machine.
Yeah. And with the over-the-air updates, it's just going to keep getting better. I mean, this is the best or the worst it'll ever be.
Yeah, that's one of the things. Tesla and Rivian, I think, as far as electric vehicles, and even if they made ICE vehicles like that, I mean, where you can get software updates, and not only can you add features, but you can also fix issues without having to take half of your day.
The big difference with Rivian and Tesla, they don't charge you for it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just over-the-air updates. My 2017 Tesla is so much better today than it was when I bought it in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just sitting in the parking lot or in the garage. You get a little notice like on your cell phone. Do you want to install an update? Oh, yes.
Yeah.
What did I get new?
Mm-hmm.
So it's an amazing part. And I was glad when the Rivians, the updates started coming fairly common, and every one of them added more capability to it. It was just, and that's what happens with the Teslas. It's just awesome.
And there's even a little speaker up here. I was looking at this little tiny that must be a tweeter.
I don't want to get your copyrights done, but but the sound system on this thing is awesome. I'll put it on for you after that.
Yeah, that's one thing I wish the Rivian was a little stronger with their audio.
Yeah, and it's you can do a lot of things with it. So you can come up here and you can say how to balance it. I can tune it. I can bring it up to the front seat. I'll turn the sound down while you're doing that. But you can definitely tailor it to the way you want.
Nice.
You know what the other options are.
Huh.
And then all the different services it provides. You can turn off those services that you don't have just so it doesn't add more things to your screen.
That's nice. I like that.
Yeah, that is a nice step. Right now I just kind of leave everything on at the moment. Just like think about what I want.
Yep. Tidal is really good. I use that in the Rivian, and I have a family plan with that, and the quality is just amazing.
And even if I'm switching over here to like radio, it's going to find all the stations around and show you kind of a graphic of them, which is really nice. And as you move into different areas, you end up with different graphics. But that's so much easier than having to search for a radio station when you don't know the area. You kind of get an idea looking at, oh, that's a rock station or that's a whatever. It kind of gives you a little better idea. Especially if you know the area. But or you can direct tune it, so you can type in the same thing. We have all the different options here, what we just showed, and I'll put it back on Tesla's streaming. That's part of the connectivity that you pay monthly. You don't have to, but it's worth it because of all the updates you get through that and through everything else that you have. The traffic and all that comes through here.
Yeah. You gotta have it.
You get it free for life with the foundation version of the Cybertruck.
Well, that's a significant value. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Yeah, I think it's only $10 a month or something for the other, but it'll never go up on you because it's you've covered for life, so you don't pay anything. But I think that was us walking around the truck.
There's the R1T.
There's the R1T, and showing somebody else coming up to look at the truck. So that's just showing your
I was in the truck.
Security.
I was in my truck when that happened.
Yeah.
That was, I think you were still in there talking to him.
Tells me that somebody was there. It's kind of comforting to know that there's somebody watching the truck. It's the Sentry mode. A lot like, again, the Rivian does the same thing. This is actually when that dot means they actually came close to it. That's probably him right there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we can't hear it. I wish we had a audio too.
And Tesla, if you're listening, add a microphone.
That would be awesome. You can talk to the people through the Sentry information, but you can't hear what they say.
Yeah.
So it would be fun to go both ways.
Yep.
But it's definitely cool. Cool to have it. And same in the Rivian, where you've got the cams running while you're driving down the road, and you can pick those up as well. I think the dash cam.
Dash cam.
So, where was I? Picked up just the other day. There was a Rivian. This one. There it is.
There you go.
Yeah, Rivian. 2 of them. I was in Gaithersburg.
Yeah.
So I was like, awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. And you can record those, so that's nice.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, JD, I really appreciate it, and
Sure.
we'll have to check in with you again, see how your ownership experience is going with your Cybertruck as time goes on.
Sounds great.
So what do you guys think? Are you going to get the Cybertruck, or are you happy with the Rivian, or are you getting something else? Let us know down in the comments section. As always, remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell, and thank you guys so much for watching.